This Spiraken mini-movie review contains adult language, mature situations, inaccurate historical figures, wonderful choreography, inspirational songs, and the amazing voice of Hugh Jackman. Listener discretion is advised. Spiraken mini-movie review, The Greatest Showman. Konnichiwa, aloha, buongiorno, what's up? It's Zan saying hello for another episode of the Spiraken mini-movie review. This is Spiraken's micro-podcast where we tell you a very brief description review of a recent or new film that just came out or came out within the last couple of weeks. We don't do too many spoilers with it. We just tell you our initial impressions and if it's worth watching or not. We have several of them at www.spiraken.com, and let's get on with the review, shall we? Because I am exhausted and I am actually very saddened that I did not watch this movie when it originally came out. I was excited to see it, but since it came out on my mom's birthday, I really couldn't go watch it. Now, the film we're talking about came out in the United States in December 20th, 2017. So now you know my mom's birthday is December 20th. I think I've talked about this in other podcasts, but I digress. And this is a film which is very unique because it is a new musical. It was actually written by the guys who did La La Land, but I'll be honest, this is leaps and bounds better than La La Land. It was directed by Michael Gracey, and it's starring, going backwards, Keala Settle, Zendaya, Rebecca Ferguson, Michelle Williams, Zac Efron, and starring that amazing actor who does a bunch of things from action films to musicals. I'm talking about Hugh Jackman. And the film I'm talking about is The Greatest Showman. Now, if you haven't heard about this film, just to give you the basic synopsis, it is the story of P.T. Barnum. Well, it's a fictionalized, romanticized version of P.T. Barnum creating the Barnum and Bailey Circus, starting from his childhood, then him getting married, then him starting the Barnum Amazing Museum, and then introducing his quote-unquote freak show, or the circus. From there, it goes into some other situations, him trying to better himself, and it not working out so well, and trials and tribulations occur. Now, this is a very well-executed film, where you've got a protagonist that you actually sympathize for, even though he does do some things which are questionable at times. And Hugh Jackman makes P.T. Barnum so likable, so wonderful, so amazing that you just want to root for him, even though there are times when he's like, well, we know you're not going to cheat on your wife, but you might do things, but you're not going to because you're trying to be the best you can. And his motivations get kind of blurred near the end, but it still fits. Now, playing his wife is Michelle Williams, and she does take him to task, and she does do a very well job making sure that she is not walked over by Hugh Jackman. She stands up against him, but the character does have some moments where she does let P.T. Barnum go wild, and she's kind of lost in the background, but it does fit. Also, one little thing is that there are some scenes which do feel like a stage play, and I think this would have been a really awesome stage play, but I really do enjoy this film at all. Also, one person I do have to say that definitely stands out is Zac Efron. Now, Zac Efron, we remember him from High School Musical. He's been trying to stay away from musicals for so long, but him getting back in this groove, I will say this. Hugh Jackman has the Broadway skills. He has the Broadway style going for him. He's got a really good voice. Zac Efron, on the other hand, He may not have the Broadway style, the skills, but he has that fucking voice. And my favorite song in this film has Zac Efron and Hugh Jackman going back and forth, and they are keeping up with each other in such an amazing way. And now, speaking of that, let's go to the songs themselves. The songs in this film are captivating. They're engaging. They're wondrous. And every time that there is a song happening, you're like wondering, when's the next song going to happen? And when you hear it start, you're like, oh god, cool, another song. And each one fits the narrative so well. And the songs wouldn't have worked if the cast didn't actually have great singers in it. And this one standout was Keala Settle, the lady who plays the bearded lady, and her main song, the song that she's known for in this film, is the song that they are hyping up for the Oscars and for all the awards, and that is almost a signature song for this soundtrack and this film, and that is This Is Me. And Keala Settle is actually an opera singer, so she has that amazing voice, and when you hear her, it is bombastic, it is influential, it is invigorating, and it makes you want to kick some ass. The song This Is Me is a great song to listen to. And the other actors all have amazing voices as well. I mean, you have Zendaya singing. Her song with Zac Efron, which is the Rewrite the Stars, the quote-unquote love song of the piece. Well, there's two, but that one, it's so melancholy and so enrapturing, and it fits the tone because the subplot of this is also intolerance because people are treating the freaks like they are horrible. And Zendaya's character, the only reason why she's with the freak show is because she's a black trapeze artist. And it's a shame because you see the intolerance in this world this time, and P.T. Barnum starting this family that is filled with all these individuals who are looked down upon in society. And seeing them rise to the occasion is such a wonderful moment in this film. But there are a lot of dark moments in this film, and there are some negatives in this film, especially when you introduce the character of Jenny Lynn. Now, Jenny Lynn is an actual individual, and if you look her up online, it's a very tragic story with her situation. But she is played by Rebecca Ferguson, and she looks amazing. However, she is dubbed over by a different singer, Laureen Alfred, and I rather would have had her playing Jenny Lynn. I mean, maybe they just said, we want someone who's beautiful and seductive, but when you see that she's dubbed over, it's kind of worrisome. It's still a great scene, but just it feels I would have rather had the actual singer in this. There's another character who's dubbed over who's a kind of central part of the circus, and that is Tom Thumb himself. Now, what do I mean by Tom Thumb himself? I'm talking about the smallest man in the world, according to P.T. Barnum. And that is Charles Stratton. He's a dwarf, played by Sam Humphrey, and he is dubbed over terribly. Like, it is like Kung Fu movie bad. But it works with the film because you just ignore it because it is a show. And that's what you're here to see, is you're here to see and hear a show. And I've got to say, this is a really great film. Highly recommend it. Get the soundtrack. And if I was actually going to give this a rating, I would give this a really, really, really fucking cool. If you don't watch this now, your brain will freeze your eyes, open your soul before for the great Zomo Gustar. It's a fun film. If you haven't watched it yet, go out. See it. If you haven't listened to the soundtrack, go out, Spotify it, listen to it, and research it. It's a great one that is totally worth having. I kind of talked about before, but then I went on a tangent. The best songs, in my opinion, are the one with Zac Efron and Hugh Jackman, The Other Side. You have The Greatest Showman, which is the opener and closer of this one, and that is a very invigorous and fun song. You have Rewrite the Stars, and I could keep going on and on and on, but I don't want to get in a lot of trouble with other party people, so check it out. Enjoy it. Now, if you want to check out any of our earlier episodes, you can check out www.spiraken.com for our other Spiraken mini-movie reviews or our manga reviews. Also, I am going to be redoing the Spiraken movie review. It is coming back. Don't worry. People have been asking, when is the regular reviews going to come back? They're coming back. We've got some great ones. What happened last time was we were going to review some stuff occurred. Let's just not talk about it. And I'm going to pull my editor's right to actually veto the last Spiraken dodecahedron of movie roll, and we're going to start off fresh with a new movie for 2018. I've got a couple of good plans for this year, so stay tuned for that. And with that in mind, I guess that's it for this episode. I really appreciate you guys listening, and I'll catch you guys next time. This is your host, Zan, saying I'm Gonzville. Have a good one, guys.